Kitonga AI, and I'm also an executive director of a youth-led non-profit organization named as Tech Forward Tanzania. Our aim, we want to bring together youth in Tanzania, engineers, and other who are in space of technology. We want to build a local solution together. And since NMB are here, I hope they are going to help us to get those funds that we need to scale the business that these startups that will be part of Tech Forward will be bringing on the table. So without wasting time, I would like to welcome our guest from CMSA to introduce yourself, sir, and I heard you had a presentation. So you can do a presentation, and after presentation, straight we will go to the Q&A. Karibu, makofi tukiwa namleta mgeni wetu. You can come to talk to the podium if you want, or you can use the mic. Either way that you're comfortable. All right. Presentation ya CMSA, naomba itokee kwenye screen. I think tutumie mic hile. Nadhani tutumie mic hile ili uwe na move kama yeah, pia tunaomba hii screen kama inaweza Mr. Tumaini, this screen kwa ajili ya presentation, presenter wetu aweze kuona anacho present. Huku presentation inaendelea, nadhani presentation ipo tayari. Tunaomba hii screen. Okay, unaweza kuendelea kujitambulisha.
Good morning. My name is Alfred Mkombo. I'm the director for Research, Policy and Planning at the Capital Markets and Securities Authority. The Capital Markets and Securities Authority is a regulatory body that supervises and regulates capital markets. So I'm here to share with you some of the developments that we are making so as to make financing for SMEs and small businesses possible through the capital markets. So before I go to today's subject, I think I'll need to explain a little bit about the capital markets, what capital markets are, and what is CMSA, Capital Market and Securities Authority. I don't think, is there anyone who knows what Capital Markets and Securities Authority is? CMSA. Anyone who has heard about CMSA? Raise your hand. If you have heard about CMSA before, raise your hand, please. So no one has heard about CMSA. So I'll talk a little bit about what CMSA is and what capital markets are. What's the change? It's not moving.
It's this one going forward.
Oh, okay.
No? Sorry. No.
That's
this
a
side. You can go this side. You point going this way.
That's okay. Right. So capital markets are markets for long-term finance. These are markets for financing long-term projects, long-term business ideas, and long-term ventures. So when we talk of long-term, we mean financing an instrument that is 1 year and above. So if there's any financial instrument that you're financing 1 year or below, that is a short-term financial instrument. So capital markets, we are talking of a financial instrument that are one year and above. So the key role of, in the capital markets, some of the typical products in the capital market, we have the bonds, we have shares, and we have collective investment schemes. These are the products that we are supervising. I'll talk a little bit about them later, but the key issue is what we call intermediation. Intermediation is the facilitation or the transfer of resources from one unit to the other, from the unit with a surplus to the unit with deficit. So the role of financial markets, the role of capital markets is to facilitate the transfer of resources from surplus units to deficit units. Deficit units, these are the units that are productive. These are the industries, these are the businesses, and even the government. And the surplus units, it's individuals, you and I have the surplus. When we, for example, if we decide now, let everyone take out whatever he has or she has in their pockets, we could collect here a lot of money because we have a surplus to spend. Anybody who has a surplus, we call a surplus unit. So the process of transferring or making it possible to transfer resources from the surplus units to the deficit units, it is what we call intermediation. And the intermediation in the capital markets is supervised or regulated by the CMSA. So the functions of CMSA, in a briefly, CMSA, the Capital Market and Securities Authority, is responsible for promoting and developing capital markets. One of the roles of promoting capital markets is public education like this, or facilitating and development of products, financial instruments, and the like. So our role is to develop the market so that the market can be able to efficiently allocate the resources. Our second role is to formulate principles that guides the industry, the financial service industry, the capital markets. So we do this by formulating guidelines. We are going to talk about crowdfunding guidelines shortly. That is one of the functions of CMSA, to formulate principles that guides the industry for smooth operation of the industry. And thirdly, we do licensing, license intermediaries and the players. We license and regulate them. If you want to undertake any business in the capital markets, you have got to get a license. You need to be licensed, and you got to be certified. So the third function, CMSA is the advisor to the government about all issues related to securities, to capital markets. So far, what is the structure of our capital markets? At the moment, the structure of the capital market, we have the stock exchange. This is the platform where trading of securities is conducted. Anyone who wants to invest can go to the exchange and buy shares or bonds, and anyone who wants to sell their securities, the instrument, can go to the exchange, Dar es Salaam Stock Exchange. That is the infrastructure that is we have licensed so far. We have one commodity exchange for the trading of commodities. We have the Central Security Depository. We have licensed dealing members, about 16, investment advisors, we have collective investment schemes, we have nominated advisors, we have listed companies, we have corporate bond instrument that we have approved, and so far we have a number of 600 plus government bonds that are listed on the exchange. So that's a kind of a structure of the market. We shall see later on. If you want to know a little bit more about the Dar es Salaam Stock Exchange, about bonds, about collective investment schemes, we are open. You can visit and we can talk a little more about it. But for the time being, for the sake of today's lecture, I just wanted to highlight what is happening in our market in Tanzania. So in terms of the value of the market, Tanzania capital market, roughly that is the value of the market. We have the equity. Equity, it means shares. The shares, the market, shares market is about 15.7 trillion shillings. We also have a bond market, which is about 17.8 trillion shillings. We have collective investment schemes, about 1.4 trillion shillings. This was as of June. I have not updated this slide, so you may see some slightly difference when you look at today's figures. So in terms of the equity market, most of you guys here are business owners or prospective business owners. So you are looking at raising capital. You want to raise capital. You want to get money for your business. One of the options that you may use is to sell shares to the public to get money and undertake your project. So in terms of the equity market, this is the sale of shares to the public, and those investors become owners of the business. You are now co-owners and they have a stake in your business. So in terms of voting, they can vote, but they are also entitled to appointment of directors, but also receiving dividends. If you are an investor who buys share, you have the right to vote. You have the right to receiving dividends as a return. So the downside or disadvantage of equity or selling shares is that you have to now, you lose some of the control, some of the voice, because you'll be now deciding together. You'll have those new shareholders will have a vote. They'll also be able to decide on the affairs of the company. So if you have a company, one of the options you may consider is to issue shares, to sell shares to the public. And selling shares to the public, you need to get an approval from CMSA. The second option that you can do if you want to raise money, you can sell bond. You can sell a bond. A bond is a loan. You are borrowing long term. You can sell a bond to the public and get money, implement your project, and at the end of the project, you return the investment. You return the money to the bondholders. But during the time of the tenure of the bond, you should be paying some installments. So this is one of the options that you may use, but this is usually used by companies that are bigger, that are large in size, and they are strong. They are stronger in terms of the financial standing. If you are a startup, you have a small business, you cannot use this option because this is a loan. You have to pay. You have an obligation to pay installments regularly. So the minimum amount you can raise through this option is 1 billion shilling. So if you are talking of 500 million, you cannot go through this option. The third option is establishing a collective investment scheme. I think most of you have heard about UTT. That is a fund manager that is managing a number of collective investment schemes. Collective investment schemes is a program whereby individuals, many people pull up their resources into one basket that is invested in various projects. So the advantage of this one is that you can invest even a small amount. You can collect a lot of money, but you also get professional advice, but it's also a means of managing risk through diversification. We call it diversification because your small amount of money can be invested in a number of projects. So this is also one of the ways. So I have talked about equity shares, I have talked about bonds, and the third one is collective investment schemes. Now, let us talk about small businesses. Those are I was talking about large companies that can issue shares, large companies that can issue bonds, and collective investment schemes. But now, considering the nature of the SMEs, small businesses, they have a specific, unique features that sometimes they are not able to raise capital through the normal channels of the bonds and the equities and other collective investment schemes. And the key challenge is because SMEs are perceived to be very risky. Young businesses, most of them die at early stages. So even banks or other capital markets providers, they shy away from SMEs. That is a big challenge. Most of the small business owners have a challenge of where they can finance their businesses. How can they raise money to finance ideas? So there's a resource gap, what we call resource gap. You need this much, but the market cannot provide you. So one way of that has been identified as a way to finance small businesses is through crowdfunding. So I'm here to talk a little bit about crowdfunding. And crowdfunding, we're saying, is a way of raising money, raising capital through contributions, small contribution from the masses, which is undertaken through an electronic platform, internet. So you have your idea, you sell your idea, and a number of people, they contribute small amounts. You raise your required amount, and you are able to finance your project. That is crowdfunding. So crowdfunding of late has been identified as a very critical, a very important means of raising capital by small businesses and SMEs, because it is a platform that collects money from people who are willing to take a little bit extra risk because of the advantages. And therefore, you'll see CMSA, we have come up with a framework to see how best businesses in Tanzania can utilize these platforms. When you look at the statistics, worldwide, crowdfunding has been drawing much interest now worldwide, and it has been one of the platforms that is used to finance businesses. According to these statistics, you can see that in 2016, amount raised in Africa was USD 182 million US dollars. I think these statistics are dated. Now I think we have much bigger numbers. I didn't have the statistics, but you can see it's a means that is getting popular now and then as days go on. And the leading African countries are Nigeria, Kenya, and South Africa. These are the leading countries here in Africa. But we as Tanzanians should now catch up with the boat. According to the research by ESRIF, the size of the industry worldwide it's over 40 billion shillings. The industry, the crowdfunding industry, that is how it is. It is a big industry, and with time it will grow even much bigger. Now we have to tap into that opportunity so that we can be able to finance our businesses. And I was saying crowdfunding provides an opportunity to participate, for the public to participate. It's not only for the benefits of the businesses, but also for the investors. You know, as an investor, you have the opportunity to participate in the young businesses that are growing. Most of the So I'm questioning that time is almost over. Let me just go straight to what we have done. So what I'm saying is we at CMSA have prepared a framework, guidelines for regulation of crowdfunding businesses. Now, these guidelines will help to protect investors who are going to invest in the crowdfunding platform. But when you look at the types of crowdfunding platforms, we have 4 types of crowdfunding platforms. We have equity-based, whereby investors would share in the ownership of that business. You have debt-based crowdfunding, which is the investors would be lenders to the business, and we have reward-based crowdfunding. These ones are this is a type whereby there is a grant-based. It's a sort of a grant-based structure, and you have you have donation-based. Now, donation-based crowdfunding platform, these are the one that we usually see people collecting, contributing for wedding and for the other social events. For CMSA, we are going to regulate investment-based, that is equity or debt-based crowdfunding platforms. And the structure of the guidelines, that is the structure of the guidelines. I want to go into the details about the crowd structures. But let me just say a little bit about this. One of the controls that we have put is that there will be a limit as to how much somebody can invest. Because as we know, small businesses are riskier, so there will be a limit for the individuals, for one individual, how much one individual can invest in one business idea. So, let me just talk on what is next. So we have drafted the guidelines. They are currently with the publisher. Once they are published by the government publisher, they will be out. But who are the stakeholders? The stakeholders are either platform operators, will be licensing platform operators. Those who are owners of the platform will be licensed, and there will be rules how to operate the platform. But also the other stakeholders will be the business owners, the entrepreneurs, those who have ideas. They are the ones who are going to raise money through the platform. There will be some procedures on how one can sell the idea through the platform, but the other stakeholders are the investors, those who are going to invest now in those business ideas. So there will be a program or a procedural framework for everyone to know how they can benefit from the crowdfunding platforms. So because of time limitation, I may end up there. So I just welcome questions. I'll be able to share with you more. But if anyone who needs more information, you can always visit the CMSA. You can visit the CMSA website or visit our offices. We are based at Garden Avenue Tower, previously PPF Tower, 6th floor. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Can I have the mics on? Round of applause again. Shoto, shika sikio la kulia, sikio la kulia. Alafu huu mkono mwingine wa kulia pitisha chini. Shika, sawa. Sasa nikisema switch, unatoa huu mkono wa kushoto ulioshika sikio la kushoto, uhamie ushike huku, alafu wa kulia uhamie kushoto. Sawa? Simeelewa maelekezo jamani? Natafuta mshindi. Kuna mtu wa money market hapa, tunaweza tukaondoka na milioni 100 za haraka. So, switch. Allah. Switch. Allah, mbona mnashika wengine nyusi? Switch. Aha. Switch. Sawa, basi mjipigie makofi. Okay. Mnaweza kukaa. So tutakuwa na dakika chache ambazo natamani sana kupitia dakika hizi chache. Najua kulikuwa kuna presentation ya Kiingereza, nikaona wadogo zangu mnasinzia, wengine hamuelewi, mnasikia bondi, sijui stock, private equity, mkawa hamuelewi kitu. Kwa hiyo session hii tutachanganya Kiingereza, a bit of mix of English and Swahili ili muweze kuelewa. Kwa hiyo nitauliza maswali ya Kiingereza na nitahakikisha na yatafsiri kwa Kiswahili ili wazungumzaji waliopo hapa mbele waweze kuwapa majibu, lakini pia nitatoa fursa ya kila mmoja wenu mwenye swali kuweza kuuliza. Kabla sijaendelea, session hii inarushwa live, kwa hiyo labda kuna jibu unaweza ukawa umepewa jibu labda hukuelewa, basi unaweza kufuatilia session hii live baadaye ukaangalia baadhi ya majibu ambayo yametolewa. I will speak in English. This session is live, so in case one of our speaker has said something, maybe you are not so sure about it, or you didn't heard it well, so you can just go back on ICT Commission YouTube channel later on and watch the stream again. I hope we are clear, right? All right. So nitaanza na swali la kwanza. Nichagulieni mji. Niongee Kiingereza swali la kwanza ama Kiswahili? Kiingereza. Tutaanza na Mr. Capital Market. So I know as a startup, now you have a business on table, it is doing well, and we know in order to grow a business or to scale a business, you need fund. And one of the biggest challenge most of startups are facing here in Tanzania is scaling the businesses. That's why it is very hard to hear out there, our businesses, like, hey, there's this amazing startup existing, or it is that has been founded in Tanzania. It is very rare. So, as a speaker, as an expert in capital market, what is the gap? Why startups are not raising fund? Where is the gap? Why are they not raising fund for their business?
Yeah, it's not only in Tanzania, but it's a global challenge. Across the globe, SMEs face a challenge in securing the right finance. Now, and the problem is the nature of the SMEs. Okay. The SMEs are perceived to be riskier than any other business because of the, they're talking of 1 out of 5 young startups die before age of 5. So that's the challenge. So because of the risky profile, they face a lot of challenge in raising finance. And there are very few financiers who are willing to take that risk. But the good side of it is that the opportunities are lower there. The small business are the ones with the higher growth rates. And when you strike a good startups, you are able to gain much more than when you finance a business that is mature, at a mature level where the returns are really flat. So that's the challenge. But with the good policies and structures, young business can be able to get funding, the right funding, and they can be able to grow their business ideas, those good business ideas. You should be able to filter out. Now, the other challenge is to filtering the good ideas and those ideas that are not really much.
Yes.
So one important thing is to prepare your idea so that it's a workable idea. And you have heard about other countries, there's a Lion's Denny, the likes of the VCs programs. Yeah. That kind of structures are important in really growing small businesses. Now, with our framework, crowdfunding framework, we hope now we'll be able to get business ideas uploaded on the platforms where investors can be able to see and be able to identify, because the investors will be also able to filter out ideas. Good ideas will be able to get financed through the platforms.
Let me just pause there before you give mic to Mr. Roderick. We just pause there. Mm-hmm. What are the traits as a VC, venture capitalist, are looking for startups? Like, these are the traits. Okay, this business, we will first look on this aspect, then this aspect, when they are doing those filtering. Because I know a lot of startups here, they would love to know specifically what the venture capitalist is looking forward into their business before they inject the money there for sustaining or growing those ventures.
The number of features that VCs look at, some of the key features is the potential for growth, scalability. Yeah. How scalable is your idea? Yeah. The other one is this idea unique? Okay. How unique? Because if you it's one of those ideas that exist, they don't see value proposition. You have to really demonstrate that this idea is unique and there is so much value that you are going to bring. And thirdly, they would like to see how they are going to exit.
Okay.
The exit route is also important. Okay. When they get there, they want, after a time, they get their stake, they quit.
Do they check the character of an entrepreneur? Like,
yes,
do they
exactly.
have to run the background search? And what are the traits specifically for that entrepreneur should have?
The entrepreneur really need to have to know what he's talking about. You know, you have your idea. You know what you're saying. Yeah. You have to. That's why they give you a short time. You have to describe very briefly within a short time. If it is really your idea, you own it.
Yes.
Yeah, you have to demonstrate that.
Thank you, Mr.
Yes.
Roderick.
Yes.
Over to you, Mr. Roderick. You can have your mic. We'll end where Mr. Capital Market has ended. I just want you to comment on the question that I've asked. You can simply, you can say it in Swahili or English, either way, so the audience can grasp something.
Okay. Asante. Kwanza labda nianze kwa kujitambulisha.
Yes.
Mimi naitwa Roderick Msechu na nafanya kazi na Serengeti Business Angels Network, and what we do is twofold. One, we look for people who are potential angel investors. We bring them to the network. We teach them or help them understand how that asset class operates. Like he rightly said, it's very risky asset class, and the metrics that are normally used by the traditional financiers like the banks do not work for startups, because it's an idea they might not have assets. So if you look at it from the lens of traditional financing, you might not see what is worth. So what we do is help now these would-be investors to understand the asset class, and then we, on the other side, bring in startups by working with incubators, accelerators, the ones that have high potential, and then we screen them together, discuss, and co-invest between ourselves, right? So that's what we do. Now, to answer the question that you posed, venture capital money comes in after angel investment money. So our ticket sizes are very small. It could be up to, say, $100,000. That could allow you.
Can you convert it in T shillings?
That would be
2.5
billion.
milioni 250.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, milioni 250, yes.
Yeah. If there's, okay. Yani sijui kama nimewahi kukutana na local angel investor kuwa kuna mtu ana mapesa yake. Jamani, ngoja niwatafsirie kwa haraka. Kuna watu wa aina mbili. Wazungumzaji wetu wamekuwa wakielezea namna ambavyo tunaweza kupata fedha za kukuza zile biashara zetu, kwa sababu ili biashara iweze kukua inahitaji capital. Kwa hiyo wamekuwa wakielezea mbinu ambazo wewe kama mjasiriamali unaweza ukazitumia kupata capital, lakini pia wameelezea vitu gani wanaangalia wale sasa wawekezaji ambao wanakuja kuwekeza katika biashara yako. Na moja kati ya vitu ambavyo nimevichukua vya haraka, cha kwanza wanaangalia, je, biashara yako ni original, maana yake ni unique. Cha pili, je, ni scalable, je, inaweza kukua. Kwa mfano, ili mnielewe zaidi, jamani, nikiwa na genge nauza mchicha, linaweza kukua genge hilo likasambaa Tanzania nzima? Hapana. Kwa hiyo maana yake ni biashara ni nzuri lakini sio scalable. Kwa hiyo vipi nikiwa na application ya kuuza mchicha online inaweza kasambaa Tanzania nzima? Aha, sasa mmeanza kunielewa. Kwa hiyo ukiwa unaanzisha biashara yako unaangalia, je, biashara yako inaweza kukua au haiwezi kukua. Hicho ni kitu cha kwanza wanaangalia, lakini pia wanaangalia tabia na mienendo ya yule ambaye anapelekewa fedha ile. Na nimetoka kuuliza pia swali la of course ilikuwa ndio hilo la trades, na swali ninaloenda kuuliza sasa linalofuata, kuna tofauti kati ya angel investors alivyokuwa anasema kaka Roderick. Angel investors ni wale wawekezaji ambao ndio umeanza biashara yako, una startup nzuri na iko scalable, lakini unataka labda ukuze, labda utoke mkoa mmoja uende mikoa 7, na ili uende mikoa 7 unahitaji fedha zaidi ili uweze kuikuza hiyo biashara. Kwa hiyo angel investors ni wale wawekezaji wa awali ambao wanaweza kuja na kiwango ambacho wanaweza our online audiences. The question that I'm asking first, why there is few angel investors specifically who are funding ICT specifically in our country, Tanzania? That's the first question. And the second question, actually I changed it. So the first one is why there is few. Yeah, there is few. Yeah. And the second question I asked, most of startups in Tanzania, they have this fear like, hey, if I bring this innovation to your space looking for money, what if my idea has been stolen? Someone, because I'm going to ask, maybe it's a bank or it's a financial institution, what if they just take my idea, they implement it, and because they have big funding, they can even do massive than even whatever I thought it could work. So what is your advice on those two perspectives? I will start with Roderick, then Mr. Capital Money will help us specifically to understand why there's few angel investors in Tanzania.
Okay, maybe we start with why there are few angel investors. It's a very interesting asset class. It's very risky, and investment money competes with treasury bonds or investments in real estate that many people understand, they know, and it's very profitable. So why would I go into an investment class that I have no idea about? Plus, the statistics are actually worse than what was mentioned by my fellow panelists. Many of the startups do fail. Around 8 of them out of 10 would not make it to the next funding. So why would I do that? So what happened in our continent about 15 years ago in Nigeria, that's where angel investment started picking up, and a lot of groundwork was done. And fast forward to the current times, we've seen some of the startups that were invested then now exiting, and the founders who people believed in early on are now investors. So they've seen how that could be a very lucrative investment class, and now it's spreading. And in Tanzania, I'm very sure 10 years from now, we'll be talking of a different story. But for us as business, Serengeti Business Angels, we are actively looking for angel investors to join our network. And the criteria for us is the money is important for the startups, but we need a lot of mentorship, we need a lot of guidance for them and networks for them to be able to scale their product. So we look for people who are working in institutions and can spare a bit of money, but are excited about the investment space, the startup space. So those are the people that we look for. And I'm happy to say that very soon there'll be a big announcement. We will be partnering with one of the UN bodies to see if we can create at least 50 angels that we are going to co-invest with them. We are going to invest alongside them. Yeah? So you had very loaded questions. So the other one, kwa nini vijana wana hofu, na what can nitamwambiaje kijana ambaye ana idea na anaogopa kwamba akipeleka kwa investor anaweza kumuibia ile idea. So one thing I would say is it's good to do your homework, so due diligence. Kwa mtu ambaye unataka invest, kama ni angel investor, kama ni Serengeti, just check around. If there is a few startups that they've invested in, ongea nao, alafu watakuguide kwamba okay, what are the pros and cons of working with this network or this individual investor. So that's one thing. Lakini the big thing ni kwamba, and I know I'm going to disappoint vijana wengi sana, ukiwa na idea, kuna watu zaidi ya 10 wana idea kama hiyo. Kwa hiyo the only way to protect your idea ni kuipeleka sokoni na kuhakikisha kwamba unafeli haraka. Kwa sababu ukiibuni idea yako, ukipeleka sokoni, we say the market is always right. Unaona? Kwa hiyo soko litakupa jibu sahihi. Na soko huwa linapiga kura, right? Kwa mfano ukiingia kwenye supermarket, kwenye ali ambayo ina tomato sauce, zipo nyingi, there are many brands, right? When you walk in there, unaangalia bei, unaangalia design, unaangalia, alafu unachagua. Kwa hiyo ambayo wametengeneza wale watapata majibu baadaye kwamba bwana, hata kama nilifikiria tomato sauce yangu ni nzuri na bei yake ni nzuri, watu hawanunui, alafu unabadilisha. Kwa hiyo to protect your idea, go to the market quickly and make sure that you have feedback from the market.
So I will, for the interest of time, I want to understand. I saw something on your presentation about crowdfunding. Tanzania has the lowest statistic. So why that, and what should be done?
The low statistics is because of actually it's related to the question you was asked, why is it Tanzania kwamba hatuna angel investors wengi? It's all amounts to first of all, the history. Unajua where we're coming from. Then our history, socialism na mambo kama hayo, they couldn't allow the growth of capital. Kwa hiyo private capital was not acceptable. Kwa hiyo we have to transform from there. Na sasa hivi with the right structures that we are putting in place, kama alivyosema speaker mwenzangu kwamba in 10 years to come Tanzania will be different. The structure itakuwa tofauti kabisa. So the statistics are small because of we didn't have good structures to facilitate growth small businesses.
When you talk about structure, can you elaborate more specifically?
Yeah, structures kwa mfano kama hizo, kwa mfano hiyo angel network, how old is it? 2 years now.
Okay.
Those that the kind of structures. The startup association now, Tanzania Startup Association is just a recent entity. Kwa hizo structures zinapokuwepo zinasaidia hata policy framework, hizi SME financing strategy na hizi framework za crowdfunding framework, these are the structures to promote growth. So we should see some change in a few years to come.
Thank you so much, Roderick. I know this is going to land not so good, but anyway, I'm sure you'll answer. You know, as a startup, I've been a startup 10 years ago, and I haven't raised much, but the biggest challenge that I faced, and I know a lot of startups here might have the same, we don't have mentors, specifically for venture capitalists or angel investment or even managing private equity. So what's your advice? Because as a startup, you need someone who has gone in that journey, who understands the market, who has raised the fund, who has been he knows the dynamics of the business to mentor you, so that you attract even more angel investors. You can go from Series A, Series B, to Series E. So specifically, how do you guys as Serengeti, how do you address that thing? But what is your advice from other startups who are looking for mentors to mentor them in capital market, in VC, in private equity? What do you advise? Because it's real hard to have a mentor. Like I don't know anyone. Okay, if you ask me, do you know any angel investor? Like I literally don't know. So how am I going to be mentored if I don't know even those angels? So it's one question with two parts. Part one, how will I know? Part B, why are they few? Or where do I find them?
Wow, I feel like you've asked me almost 5 questions at once. Je, unataka nijibu kama mimi kama kijana wa Kitanzania,
Yes,
au nijibu
yes,
kama Serengeti
yes.
Angels?
Kama kijana wa Kitanzania.
Okay, kama kijana wa Kitanzania, what I would say is getting mentorship not only in investment, just career-wise, is you have to know how to get it, right? Yeah. And just like you, I also struggled and I floundered my way, but I sort of like understand why someone would not want to help you out. So my advice is, one, they say when the student is ready, the teacher appears. Mwanafunzi akiwa tayari, mwalimu atajitokeza. So think of what you can give, not what you can take. Kwa mfano, umemaliza chuo au upo chuoni, you have 3 months that you're free. Are you able to spend 4 hours with any institution around? Na sio kwamba unawapa masharti, unawaambia jamani, I'm able to do X, Y, Z. And help them to do it. When you help, then you get people who are going to handhold you. Lakini nafikiri sehemu nyingi ambapo vijana wanakosea, wanakuja na mentality kwamba mimi na haki na natakiwa kupewa. So the thing is, you're right, lakini maybe mentor wako mmoja ana compete na vijana 100 ambao wanataka space yake, wanataka wasaidie, wanataka washauri. Who would he or she choose to mentor? Ni yule ambaye anaona anajitahidi, anajaribu kumwambia okay, maybe hiki najua kufanya, laptop yako inahitaji installation, I have the latest. You find ways of creating those relationships.
Okay.
So I think that's what I would say.
Okay, Mr. Capital Market, this is the last. So you'll speak, and after this, trust me, I'll take that mic away from you. I want to understand, do we have right policies that helps business to grow when it comes to funding? And number 2, any thought that you have that you want before you leave this stage, these amazing startups and people who really want to have business in future, what would you advise our young people and youth who are here today and who are following us online? So it is 2 questions. 1, policies. Do we have the right policies? 2, your advice.
Yeah, thank you. My view is that we have the right policies. As so far, we have gone some miles from where we are coming from. Yeah. We started with the, for example, in the capital markets, we started with the main market with those stringent conditions and the requirements, and we went there, capital, prescription, profitability, and then after a time we realized that there is a big segment that we were leaving out. So we came up with the idea of enterprise growth market to cater for the SMEs, not small as medium and growing companies. Even without profitability, you can go to the market and get some funding. We have operated for some years now, but we realized that there is still a small, lower segment that is still left out, the startups and the small businesses. So we have come up with this crowdfunding platform to facilitate now the lower segment to be able to raise funds from the capital market. I think the policies are right. We have the SME policies at the national level, SME financing, SME policy, and SME financing strategy is in the pipeline. So we have the policies. It's a matter of now getting them to help us, putting them into use. And I think with the time, as we move on, the policy will be able to benefit the businesses, small businesses. And lastly, probably now I can say, you youngsters, young boys, ninawashauri, sisi wa Tanzania tunataka haraka. Usitake haraka. Tengeneza passion na idea yako. Wewe ifanyie kazi, yani usikate tamaki ya rahisi mtu anakuondoa tu kwenye nani. Stick to your idea, work it out. Yani usifanye haraka unachukua idea hujaifanyia kazi vizuri, unakimbia na nini afu unakuwa disappointed. No, work out your idea na work vizuri na explore the opportunities. Explore this idea. This door is not opening. Go to the other door. So there are many doors, and now the environment is very facilitative. Hata kitaifa kuna policies sasa ziko very facilitative to vijana. Youngsters, please work hard, work out your idea very well, put it in a better way. Tafuta ushauri, watakusaidia and they will get from there. Watu wanaofanikiwa, ingekuwa kufanikiwa rahisi tu, basi kila mtu angefanikiwa, lakini there are few who get up there. So be one of them, and those who are in school na nini, endelea ku nurture your idea, na your idea is very potential. You have a very big potential, work hard.
Wow, thank you so much. Round of applause. So For our online audience, I'll just summarize before Mr. Roderick give a thought, last thought. Our capital market expert has emphasized on almost captured 4 things. 1, nurture your idea. 2, when one door of opportunity is closed, keep knocking the doors. You never know what is your next door that will open for you, so keep knocking those doors. Number 3, keep investing in yourself, keep getting the right information. And last one, hard work. Repeat after me, hard work. Hard work. Okay, so Mr. Roderick, any thoughts that you wish youth who are in the building today could share? Your last thought?
Yes, my last comments, mi ningependa kuuliza swali. Hapa, how many people know in Tanzania or in Dar es Salaam how many dollar millionaires there are? Nani anafahamu?
Yeyote anayefahamu jamani?
How many dollar millionaires? Sawa, nitawasaidia. It's about 2,400. So let's say 3,000 people. And what's the population of Dar es Salaam?
6, 7 around there.
6 million, right? Ukianzisha startup, right? Alafu upate funding ya 100,000 kwenye valuation ndogo, you already are almost 1 out of the 3,000 people, right? So it's very hard, and kama kila mtu angekuwa anaweza angefanya. So it's a word of encouragement. What you're trying to do if you're an innovator, entrepreneur, is very hard. And there are incubators, accelerators, angel investors, institutions to help you. Lakini ukiona ni ngumu, it's supposed to be hard, but we are rooting for you. Thank you.
Wow, thank you so much. We can stand maybe for a picture, a group picture. But before I wind up, faida kwa wadogo zangu ambao mngetamani kujifunza elimu ya fedha, unaweza ukanifuatilia katika ukurasa wangu wa Instagram au YouTube. Jina ni Elias Patrick. Nimeanza kufundisha kwa Kiswahili. Hivi vitu walikuwa wanaongelea sijui money market, sijui venture capital, private equity, kwa Kiswahili. Lengo ni kuwa na maarifa sahihi ili unapoenda kukutana na angel investors ama kufanya hizo due diligence, at least unauelewa nini sahihi. Kwa hiyo sitachaji, ni bure kabisa, na kila mwezi nitakuwa nikifanya, na unaweza kani DM kama una swali lolote na nitakujibu kwa Kiswahili. Lakini bila kusahau, jana nimeonyesha namna Kitonga AI inafanya kazi. Kuna angel, kuna mtaalamu mle anaitwa Daniel, tumemtrain masuala mazima ya biashara na investment. Kwa hiyo ukiwa una swali lolote, labda hujaelewa capital market nini, sijui venture capital nini, ingia Kitonga AI, muulize pale. Hata Chifu Mkwawa anaweza akakusaidia kwa lugha nyepesi. Kwa hiyo naamini tumepata kitu. Wangapi tumepata kitu? Basi makofi mengi kwa wazungumzaji wetu.
Now, let's put our hands together for the moderator as well. Thank you very much for that wonderful moderation, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to go on to the next session, and I'm considerate of time. I would like to bring the EU to the stage, European Union. This is the session which is coming next onto the stage. We're going to look onto its interesting session, how youth entrepreneurship is catalyzed in the agri-tech. We want to learn from a UN joint program in Kigoma. This will be presented by Emmanuel Lukwaro. Emmanuel, is Emmanuel with us? Emmanuel, please come to the stage. And also Oscar Italazio. Oscar, please come to the stage. So I want to understand, and please allow me to remain guided by all of us here, that this is an international conference, and as an international conference, we have people who are participating virtually, and Swahili is widely spoken across the world, but because of that English or that international component, allow us to engage. You want to sit at the very middle of the stage so we have very good background and picture. Just move. Yes. Because of that, ladies and gentlemen, allow us all to really use a lot of English content because I know we can.